Hello, and welcome back to Absolute Awesomeness. It has been quite a few months since we have recorded one of these, and you may notice that the icon in the upper right-hand corner is no longer George Mitrev. It is now a different co-host of the podcast, Noah Boink.
Hello, I am Noah Boink.
That was Noah Boink.
What, really?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
I think so.
Anyway, so tonight we are talking about the pros and cons of Thor Ragnarok.
This is, if you are unaware, the third installment in the Thor trilogy made by Marvel Studios. Came out in November of last year, so we're a little bit late to discuss this. But let's just get right into it.
Should we start with the pros or the cons?
We can begin with the pros. So this is one of Noah's favorite movies, so I'll let him begin.
Okay, so I know you feel differently about this than I do, but I actually like the comedy side of Thor Ragnarok. Like, I know the past ones have been more of a serious sort of movie, more focused on, I don't want to say like more focused on the story, but more focused on, it's weird, but this one has been more comedic.
Yeah.
Than the past.
Yeah, for me, I felt like I enjoyed the comedy a lot for sure. It was definitely funny, but like it's not that the jokes fell short for me. It's just that some of them, like, I felt like they didn't belong in this particular story because Ragnarok is supposed to be this kind of like dark apocalyptic storyline in the comics anyways, and I'm not like an avid reader of the Thor comics, so I guess it's not a huge issue for me, but I know that some fans felt let down that it was such a different direction than the comics in that sense.
Yeah, and about your point about some of the fans being let down there, I don't think there's any movie that I've ever seen where it's exactly what the fans have wanted. Like, there's always like a group of fans that have always like, oh, it's gonna be like this, or it's gonna go this direction, and it doesn't, and then they're always disappointed.
Yeah.
One of those movies recently was it? Oh, I can't remember what movie it was.
A Wrinkle in Time. Is that it?
I don't think it was A Wrinkle in Time, but it was a movie recently where everybody expected it to go one direction. Maybe it was the most recent Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, like everybody was predicting that Rey was going to be part of the Skywalker family, or part of Obi-Wan's family, and then she just turned out to be nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody blew up about that.
Yeah, I think that like after the end of The Force Awakens, like in the huge like 2-year gap between the two movies, like people developed so many intricate fan theories that it was almost impossible to not be let down, you know, like because people just came up with all these crazy ideas, you know, whereas like if they had just gone into the movie expecting just a good movie, you know, then they wouldn't have been let down. So I see your point there.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
What would you say is a pro of the movie?
A pro of the movie, I think that a lot of it was definitely like visually a very appealing movie. So for me, the in the arena scene with Thor and Hulk fighting, I thought that was really like, it was just really stunning, the lights, and like if you just like like we were talking about earlier, you know, it's one of those movies where if you pause it at any moment, you know, like
it's a good snapshot. Cool. It's a good picture.
Yeah.
I also liked like the way the hologram looked like a hologram. Mm-hmm. It did not look like just the game master, whatever his name is, I can't remember at the moment. Like, he wasn't just appearing in the middle. It was actually like a video sort of thing.
The hologram did look really cool.
It looked really, really cool.
Yeah, it was projected in like a lot of different places, like whenever they
like
they
outside.
Yeah,
it was like in the city part, and then inside the arena. It was all really, really cool.
Yeah. Another part that looked cool was Valkyrie's like her backstory, the scene with the other Valkyries fighting Hela. That was pretty cool.
That was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
And then what would you say? I know you've already sort of stated a con, but
I think that this was kind of keeping in tone with the lighter nature of the movie, but I just felt that they should have focused more on the the deaths in the movie, because there were like they killed off like
Kind of Odin.
they killed off, yeah, Thor's father, and I mean that scene was pretty emotional, but then like Hela showed up, and then they just like moved on from it super quickly, and then
I mean, what would you do if your like sister is the goddess of death and wants to kill you as soon as your father dies?
That's true. That's true. But I mean, it didn't. There wasn't enough time for it to resonate
Yeah.
with the audience, really, for me.
I
And then
agree with that.
when they killed the Warriors 3 also, and the Warriors 3 they didn't have a major part in this movie, but in the past two movies they were like main characters right along with Thor, and so it was so quick that like I almost didn't even realize it happened. Hella just like went right through them, and I
Yeah,
guess
she went right through the entire army.
yeah, and I think they could have made that a more powerful moment, but they didn't. Like I felt like that they should have focused on that more,
Yeah.
because that was yeah.
And I mean, for someone that hasn't watched the first two movies,
Hmm.
like they might not have known what like the significance of that. So I don't know if they're like trying to I don't know like accommodate for that, or
Yeah.
whether they're just trying to move the movie along.
Yeah.
But I will agree that like the movie was sort of more faster paced.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
so much so that with some of the deaths, like you said, Odin and the entire army that was significant in the past two movies, like they just all kind of died and then we moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say that's a definite con of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I think that a pro of the movie would just be the characters and their personalities. I thought had a really good chemistry. I thought Valkyrie was a really good character. Hulk was pretty good in this movie. I liked him.
And then Loki, like
Yeah.
the way that he like betrayed then didn't, like he came back, which is what he does in like almost every movie that I see him in.
Mhm.
Besides like what was it, Avengers? I forget which one it was, but it was the one where Hulk was the one that slammed him into the ground.
Right, yeah, that was Avengers.
That
yeah.
was Avengers. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a while. I don't know if he came back around, but like in what was it? There was one movie that I saw him in where he turned evil, or like because he's the god of mischief. He came back around and started helping them again. I could be misremembering.
Well, in the last Thor movie, that happened he helped out. He helped out Thor to fight Malekith or whatever, but then he ended up like betraying him at the end.
And he's playing the role of the god of mischief really well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the way that Marvel portrays him and like has him act as the god of mischief is like spot on. That's really good.
Yeah, he's very mischievous. I like the scene where he where Thor is telling everybody about that time when they were kids and he like transformed into a snake or whatever. that was funny.
I picked up the snake because it's a snake.
That was actually
to admire its beauty. That's what it was.
Yeah, that scene was improv. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. See, that's how you know you have good actors when they can improv a scene and it works so well in the actual
movie. They keep
movie
it
itself.
in the movie. Yeah, that's good. So I liked Korg a lot. You said that the first time you saw it, you didn't like him as much.
Yeah, the voice really caught me. Like it really caught me off guard for what I saw or for what I thought Korg would sound like. But I watched it again last night and I warmed up to him. I really did.
Yeah, yeah.
And Korg was definitely another humor element in the movie, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I mean I'm okay with that too. Whenever it's like a humorous character, you know, like I like having a character that is comic relief, but the parts that I didn't like is when they tried to like force humor onto a character that wouldn't normally be humorous.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I feel like in the beginning, like when Thor is talking to what's his name, the big fire guy with the skull.
Oh, Surtur. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when he's just turning in the change, I feel like that was sort of, I don't want to say it was like forced, but I don't think it was like it wasn't all that necessary to have in there.
Yeah, I think
I mean, I did enjoy it. Like it was funny, but I think they could have gone without doing that.
definitely. Like I think it was kind of a missed opportunity with Surtur because he's such a crazy giant bad villain, you know, and they just kind of used him for comedy. Like they didn't really.
And like he played along, I think, too well.
Yeah, I know.
Like he just kind of let it happen.
Yeah, like he could have been a much bigger threat than that. One of the reasons that the director said that Thor kind of has more of a sense of humor in this movie is because he spent time hanging out on Earth with Tony Stark. So they say that that's like one of the reasons. But for me, it's just like he acts almost like a different character than he did in the past two movies. Like he didn't really. The jokes that he made in this movie just didn't really fit with his character. To me, they were still funny, but I don't know. That's just one of the few cons for me.
One of the scenes when they went, like the scene when they went to go get Odin before they met Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like the girls that came to take a picture with him. That scene at first confused me.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if they were taking a picture of him because he was Thor, he was one of the Avengers. Or because he was just a really hot guy in the middle of the street.
No, I think he's a celebrity on Earth. Like I think that all the Avengers are kind of celebrities at this point.
Well, because I feel like I wouldn't necessarily call him a celebrity, but Loki was standing like right there.
Well, Loki's kind of a
he was a
terrorist.
villain. Well, I know he was a villain, but they acted like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, I think they might not have recognized him because if you think about it, like the Avengers are probably portrayed in like different ways, like on Earth. Like there's probably like for instance in this is gonna go back to the main point here, but in Spider-Man: Homecoming, like Captain America, like everyone at the school is like talking about him. You know, like they know who he is. Like the Avengers are kind of well known at this point. I don't think that like people idolize Loki or really like. I don't think that he's really talked about that much because I don't think he even like I don't know if the people of Earth would even like know his name, you know, because he showed up in the first Avengers movie, but I don't know if he really ever like told anyone who he was. Like, you know, he was just all he did was open the gateway for the Chitauri to come through, and so I think the people know about the Chitauri, the aliens that attacked Earth, but they don't necessarily know Loki. I think.
Yeah. And like one of the points that you made was that he wasn't like well known. Like that was your main point out of that.
Yeah. Sorry, that was
oh yeah, no,
tangent there.
You're fine. But I feel like even though like he only really appeared once in the Avengers. Well, not once, but like that was his first appearance in the Avengers series where people actually saw him on Earth. I feel like some people would still sort of recognize him because what he did, like that made an impact.
Yeah.
And he sort of made himself, I don't want to say well known at the time, but to like the group of people that was around him. Like I'm remembering the scene. It was like I don't know if it was like a party or something. I might be misremembering because it's been a while since I've watched the movie. But like everybody was like afraid of him, and like they could clearly see his face. So I'm a bit like I'm a bit surprised, I guess.
Yeah.
That he wasn't more well known than he was, and again, he acted like he wasn't even there. Like the girls in the scene, like they didn't even like acknowledge his existence at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only real excuse for that would be that he was kind of wearing like normal attire in that scene, whereas like any pictures or videos that the people of Earth might have of Loki at this point would be of him in his full like armor and giant helmet and all that.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah. So they might not have recognized him. Whereas like I'm sure there's tons of pictures of Thor and stuff because he's like one of the heroes of Earth at this point. So. I thought Hela was a good villain.
Yeah.
She was the first female villain in the MCU, so that's pretty cool.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Or first like main antagonist, I should say.
I feel like Who played Hela? I forget.
Kate Blanchett.
You know, I'm gonna say this. Um, she is getting a bit older.
Yeah, yeah.
But she still did a very, very good job at portraying an evil villain, especially one that's Hela, who is always very serious. But it also has that sort of smirk, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I
Like
do.
when she finishes off the entire army, she just kind of like scoffs at them, like she almost grins, because they were so easy to take out.
Yeah. No, yeah, she definitely did a good job. And like one of my original complaints was that there wasn't enough like special effects for her because she is like the goddess of death. But the more I thought about it, like if they had gone like full CGI for her, then it wouldn't have really given her as an actress the chance to shine, you know. So, and plus all the other gods in the like Thor and Loki and Odin, of course, just kind of look like
they kind of look like humans.
Yeah, they do look like humans. So I think that made sense. Yeah, all in all, I thought it was a good movie.
It was a very good movie.
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite parts about it, I guess, and this isn't. Something just in my throat there. I feel like they made the Valkyrie costume. Like I think that was incredibly well done. Like I know that it was in the. I think it was in the comics before. I haven't read many of the comics, or any of them for that matter. But like I think, or at least I feel they did a really really good job at recreating that to what it looked like in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if Valkyrie is a specific character in the comics or if the Valkyries are just a group. I really need to read up on that. But
yeah, I do too.
But no, the costume was cool. She was a cool character. I thought all the costumes and characters were well designed.
The animations that they did with not only the giant dog.
Oh, that thing was crazy.
That
awesome.
thing was really cool. But like the bridge was really cool, and then the entire undead army.
I wish that we saw more of them because they were really cool.
They were really cool and they were really well done.
Too. Yeah. I just that would have been cool to see even more like close up shots of them because I thought when I saw them from a distance I thought they looked really cool.
Yeah, they looked really really cool and they looked really like scary almost.
Yeah.
Because of their glowing eyes, especially when she first resurrected them, we could see them all come awake one by one.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Let's go back to the dog. The dog was awesome.
Yeah.
They did a really really nice job with that.
Definitely.
They made it almost realistic.
No, yeah, it was very realistic. I think I wonder how much of it or if any of it, I wonder, was like an actual animal, like that they maybe like layered on tons of effects and stuff, because I mean it felt very lifelike.
It looked really cool, and it acted a lot like a dog would.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Like the movements that it made were also very lifelike when it was coming down the bridge, like to attack all the people because they were trying to get to the portal thing.
Yeah.
Like the way it ran. Yeah. Was very much like how a dog would start running after something. Yeah,
no, I mean, yeah, all the motions and just like the fur, the detailing, like at times I really thought like it looked like they had definitely at least used like a real animal as like the base for it because it was.
I mean, even if they didn't, like imagine how long that would take.
Yeah,
because like remember that I'm going back to I know something very taboo, but Frozen. When Elsa finished singing her like Let It Go, and she grabbed her like little cape thing and then turned and did that and closed the door. That one scene took like 3 months.
Yeah, no, animated movies. The scenes in those take ridiculously long. So to make a scene that actually like looks like real life
like
would be
hyper realistic. That's
insane,
that's gotta take forever.
Yeah.
But like all in all, this is that like Thor Ragnarok. I believe is one of my favorite movies. It is really really good.
Yeah, I think my final like consensus on it would be it is a great movie, and I think if you're going into it looking for a perfect representation of the comics, then that's not what it's going to be. But I mean, if you're just looking for a good movie, then it definitely fulfills that. It's funny. It has epic scenes. It has great visuals. So it may not be exactly what some fans were looking for. And I probably would have a stronger opinion if I like read more Thor
Mhm.
comics. But I think it definitely was a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I saw it a couple times, so it was
Yeah,
good.
and I would recommend watching the first two like beforehand, just so you know mostly of what's going on, so you get sort of the
Mm,
background on Loki, on Thor himself, and
yeah, yeah,
and Asgard just in general.
yeah.
So, all in all, it's a really good movie.
Yes. Well, we must be moving on to the next podcast now. So thank you all for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed or will enjoy watching Thor Ragnarok.